Okay, has been started. And let me open the file which I have circulated to all of you. Just give me 30 seconds. Okay, it's open, sharing my screen with all of you. And everyone should be able to see the monthly return volatility, lowest expected return, highest expected return, some portfolios. Some people would be like, sir, it is complicated to understand. First of all, you should try to understand this. You should try to explain this to us, and then only we can move ahead further. No worries, fine. I am here to explain you. Do not worry. Now, what we are going to do in this file is we are supposed to find the value at risk. Now, to find the value at risk, you need certain things in the data, first of all. So if I go to the data, that is the first worksheet, I'm just explaining you the file I have right now. In that, I have the data of, bonds, equities, as well as cash. These three are the assets I have, and I have the monthly return in each of these three asset classes. For various number of years, the dates are taken fictitiously. So how did we find the monthly return over there? You are not supposed to find it, but if in case you couldn't get it, I'm just explaining that to you. So monthly return would be equal to the price of current minus the opening price. So I may say closing minus opening divided by opening. So divided by opening, which is 100 again. So there comes a return of minus 1.46%. And if you try to apply the same formula in all of this, you would get obviously the same returns in the bonds. Here we have the prices of bonds for all this number of months, maybe the closing prices. Then we have the equity index of, for the United States of America, though I have used the different dates, but this is a real practical data. One is the bond index, another one is the equity index. So we could find the return from equity on monthly basis. How? Again, explaining that to you. Equal to, in bracket, you may do it along with me. They are in the data. Closing minus opening, closing the bracket, divided by the opening, that is E3. Pressing enter. Then you do control C. Control C के बाद you would be moving further. Sir, how can you select the entire data? You could do it without explaining that to us, but we cannot do it. If we would be moving down and down and down, it would be taking too much time of us. So once the formula is applied, then let me give you another way. You can go to बाजू वाले की सीढ़ी. बाजू वाले की सीढ़ी मतलब कि अब बाजू में पहुंच गए, और बाजू में पहुंच गए मतलब कि बाजू वाले की सीढ़ी से नीचे उतरना है. So you can go down by pressing control down arrow. So you reach to the last cell of the active data range on that data at the downside. Okay, once you do that, then again you come back to your own home from बाजू वाले की सीढ़ी. बाजू वाले की सीढ़ी को यूज करके हम नीचे उतर गए. अब हमारे खुद के घर में अपन आ गए. अब अपन प्रेस करेंगे कंट्रोल शिफ्ट अप एरो. यू मे नोट इट डाउन. कंट्रोल plus shift plus up arrow. Now press enter. So you have the formula applied for every return. Some people would be like, sir, इतना क्या करने की जरूरत थी? आप सिर्फ डबल क्लिक कर सकते थे, वहां पे जाके ड्रैग करते तो भी हो जाता. तो हो जाता, कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन ये शॉर्टकट बेटा आपको बहुत काम आने वाला है. क्योंकि अब की बार जो हम करने वाले हैं पोर्टफोलियो वाला थर्ड मॉड्यूल, I will make sure that it's gonna be extremely practical exercise, because anyway the examination is not going to be for the manual calculations, right? So I think that my students' betterment, I would explain the manual concepts first with you, but I will not take many numerical exercises. Instead of that, I would take those exercises into the Excel, because anyway, I'm not going to test the entire numerical exercises in your examination, right? So you have the practical learning too, and you have the conceptual learning too. So that's what I'm trying to build for the next module. Gonna be the small module, but 5 to 6 lectures are going to be extremely practical as far as the portfolio management are concerned. I tell you, gonna be very practical. Okay, then same for the cash index. We would be doing equal to closing minus opening. लेकिन एक्सेल को मालूम नहीं है कि ये दोनों से डिवाइड करना है कि एक से डिवाइड करना है, तो एक्सेल को बताएंगे कि दोनों से करना है भाई, होल ब्रैकेट है, तो तेरे को ब्रैकेट में डालना पड़ेगा इधर. So once you have that in bracket, divided by opening 100, that is G3, pressing enter. Now control C and you may paste it down. Or another way you have is, everyone please go through there. Let me use the magnifier so that you get the minute details. And here I am there on the minute details. So if I am there right now on this, on right hand side corner, when this kind of a highlighted black cross gets appeared on right hand side corner, bottom corner, then over there you may place a double click. So up to the active range of data, Excel will automatically apply that formula. Some people were like, sir, we already had it. Why did you calculate? We already had it. Yes, no, absolutely correct. But we calculated it because I wanted you to do that, right? Otherwise, some people would be like, सर ने तो ऐसे ही बैठा बैठा दे दिया, हमसे तो कुछ करवाया ही नहीं है. तो ऐसा ना बोलो, इसलिए आपसे भी करवाऊंगा मैं. Okay, so you have the monthly written from all these assets. Now for your better understanding, you may go to the second worksheet. If all of you are there with me till now, you may just put the confirmation there in the chat box, please. I know this class is very bad in terms of interaction when it comes to unmuting yourself. So I'm just asking the confirmation in the chat box. At least do that, please, so that I do not go into the FOMO zone. If you are there with me, please put the confirmation so that I can move ahead. So from Mr. Sagar, Miss Chitra, Miss Leela, Miss Vidya, we have got it. Mr. Yash too, good to see that. Mr. Yash would be like, sir, good to see that. Why only with me? It was just spontaneous reaction. Do not take it. Do not try to interpret it in the too much of detail. Others, may I assume that you have done? And if you haven't, then please let me know that I should wait for you for 30 seconds or so. Okay, from Miss Dhruvi. Miss Neha, we have got it. Let's move further. Someone like, आप कितनी भी ट्राई करो ना सर, हम तो नहीं रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं, मतलब नहीं ही करने वाले हैं, आपको हम बता देते हैं. कोई बात नहीं, कैसे कैसे ईगो होते हैं बच्चों के में, देखो. Now we can move to the second file, and let me share what is there in the second file. First of all, I need to explain that to you. So there are three types of investors we have identified. First type is very conservative one, kaka, mama, mosa kind of an investor, who does not take much of a risk, who require the safe income a lot. थोड़ी सी बड़ी बुड़ी आत्माएं होती है, वो थोड़ी सी कंजर्वेटिव होती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट टू. अब हमें उनकी डिसरिस्पेक्ट बिल्कुल भी नहीं करनी चाहिए. उनकी एज पे लोग थोड़े से कंजर्वेटिव हो ही जाते हैं, क्योंकि पोर्टफोलियो बनाने से पहले आप बहुत सारी चीजें सोचते हो बेटा. How do you make the portfolio? Before making the portfolio, you try to consider your age pattern, you try to consider the dependent number of people on you, you try to consider the income you have, you try to consider if you have certain occasions which will be followed up. If you have the children, then at that time, what about their education, what about their marriage and all sorts sort of a thing. So at that time people become little conservative, they do not want to lose the money. So there could be various other reasons too, based on the risk taking capacity. Then investor can be a conservative, it can be a balanced kind of an investor, or it can be aggressive investor. So what does make an aggressive investor an aggressive one, right? Okay, so aggressive investor is the one who invests more into the equity and less into such sort of an income which does not give the good return, in the longer term. So he has more allocation to the equity, which is 72%. You might have seen that. Then in 23% of the allocation he has. Now मेरे को वार कैलकुलेट करना है बेटा इसमें, तो मेरे को आपको ये सब की चीज तो बतानी पड़ेगी ना पहले, कैसे डेटा आया है. इसलिए मेरे को ये एक एक्स्ट्रा लेक्चर लेना पड़ेगा सिर्फ इसके लिए. लेकिन ये हमें काम आएगा थर्ड वाले मॉड्यूल के अंदर, पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट में फिर से काम आएगा. तो ये अपन के एफर्ट्स कोई वैन में नहीं जा रहा है, राइट. वैन बोला, वान नहीं बोला. सम पीपल वुड बी लाइक वैन, वो क्या होता है? Okay, so aggressive is the one who has more allocation to the equity, 75%, 72. Here you have the allocation of portfolio, bonds, equities and cash. The first conservative kind of people have more allocation to the bonds and cash, and they have just a 30% of the allocation to the equities. Now it is also recognized by the financial experts that if you do not have much knowledge about what kind of a portfolio you should have, whether balanced one or aggressive one, you should consider this age factor first of all. So many of the financial experts try to explain this in the layman language, that you should reduce your age from 100. So if you reduce your age from 100, say 20, then rest of the money should go directly into the equity or equity oriented mutual funds. Because right now at the 20, you have a greater risk taking capacity, there is not much dependence on you, you are still not mingle, you are just a single, at least officially you are single. Then you have the risk taking capacity, again you have a too much of time period left in your life too. Economically, physically, mentally, you are still at the optimum use of your powers. So 20 is something which is, at you people are right now at the torch of Girnar, that mountain, और आप ऐसे दत्तात्रेय के बाजू में खड़े हो, ऐसे आप पोटेंशियल पावर्स में आप सबसे ऊपर हो अभी. फिर 20 से 30 में और इंक्रीज करते हो, 30 से फिर डिक्लाइन स्टेज शुरू हो जाता है. So if your age is say 40, then 100 minus 40, so you should have 60% of allocation in equity. So if your age is 60, then accordingly your allocation should go little bit down in equity, because equity is something which is very much risky. We people are aware about it, no need to go into that again. So balanced one is 43, 47 and 10. So what we are supposed to do now, the first thing that we will do is, everyone, we would try to find the portfolio return by applying the rates. Now something which is related to our matter of concern. So monthly return we want to find for all this number of months for which we have the data, but in the portfolio there are various assets, right? So how can we find the portfolio return? May I have the answer from anyone if I would like to put across this question to all of you? How can we find the portfolio return? You people have done it amazingly in many of the subjects, I know it. You will have to just apply it practically in the Excel now. When you have the 3 allocated assets and the returns are given for all of 3 assets, and you have a particular portfolio in terms of percentage for these assets, how do you find the portfolio return? See, portfolio weight is also given to you. 55, 30, 15. May I have the answer from you, please? May I have the answer, please? पोर्टफोलियो रिटर्न कैसे करते, कुछ याद आ रहा है? देखो वहां पे फॉर्मूला भी है, अगर थोड़ा सा देखोगे तो फॉर्मूला से कुछ ऐसे दिमाग की बत्ती जल रही है। आम जिंदगी में से मेंटोस वाली जिंदगी में जा सकते हो, देखो। देखो बेटा, सब आपको ही करना पड़ेगा। मैं आपको आके बोलने वाला नहीं हूं कि ये एक्सेल मैं कर लेता हूं, तुम ड्रीम 11 पे जाके टीम बनाओ। नहीं, तुम ड्रीम 11 पे जाके टीम नहीं बना सकते, तुम्हें ही करना है ये। May I have the answers? I would like to. Yes, Miss Neha has got it. Miss Chitra has got it too. Weighted average, maybe. Yes, Miss Chitra, you are absolutely right. Not maybe. When you have the confidence, you should try to put it like, with the convention. It is weighted average. Asset value multiplied by return percentage. Okay. Instead of asset value, I would like to put the weight of that asset. Miss Neha, I hope you got it. So your formula would be like this. Weight of asset. Oh my God, Brahmastra has stopped working. Let me. कौन सा वाला कलर यूज करते हैं? रेड करें? रेड में मजा आएगा, चलो रेड. So you have the weight of 1 multiplied by return of asset 1. सर ऐसा कैसा मल्टीप्लाई का साइन होता है? ऐसा होता है. ओके, देन प्लस weight of 2 multiplied by return of 2 plus weight of 3 multiplied by return of 3. Now why we have taken only up to 3? Because only there are 3 assets यार. ये भी कोई एक्सप्लेन करने की बात हुई की? तो हम वेट कहां पे है सर? तो ये परसेंटेज है, वो वेट तो है. तो हम कैसे करेंगे? इक्वल टू, एवरीवन वुड स्टार्ट डूइंग अलोंग विथ मी. पहले ये रिमेंबर कर लो कि इक्विटी के कितने हैं? बॉन्ड के 55, इक्विटी के 30 और कैश के 15. सो 55, 30 एंड 15 ये हमारा अलोकेशन है. So I'm pressing equal to because every formula in Excel starts with a sign of equal to. Then after that I would go to data. Then in data, percentage of return we have already found just now. So I'm going to the percentage of return of first of all the bond. I'm selecting this first one multiplied by weight of first one. May I have the weight of first one? If I'm not wrong, it is 55%, right? So either I may write 0.55 or I may write 55%, whatever the case which is visible to you. So that Fudedi sign above 8 numbers keyboard is the multiplication sign. Some people would be like, what is this Fudedi? मेरे को उसका इंग्लिश नेम नहीं आता, सॉरी. Then we would use plus. अब हमारे पास रिटर्न चाहिए इक्विटी का. सो हम इक्विटी के रिटर्न को जाके सिलेक्ट करेंगे भैया. तो इक्विटी का रिटर्न ये है 2.79 और उसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे इक्विटी के वेट से. सो इक्विटी का वेट कितना था, कितना परसेंटेज था? आई गेस 30%, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. कितना था भैया, कौन बताएगा? 30 ना कि 35 था? कोई अनम्यूट करके बताओ ना. मैं अगर वहां पे जाऊंगा तो मेरा फॉर्मूला में जरा सा ये हो जाएगा, इसलिए. चलो 30 ही था शायद. तो 30 था ना बेटा?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so multiplied by 0.3 or you may write 30%. Again plus. And the last one you have is the cash. And some people would be like, sir, how there can be a percentage of return in cash too? I'll explain that to you. That's a bit of an economics principle there. So I'm selecting this 0.70% multiplied by 15%, which is the remaining portfolio allocation to the cash. Pressing enter. And the beauty of the Excel is that you are not supposed to do it again and again, right? You will just press the double click over there by going over there, right hand side corner, bottom corner of that cell. And once this kind of a cross sign gets appeared, then say to Jesus that double click. And Jesus would be helping you over there, and there would be a chamatkar. And here you have the returns. Okay, so here I had take the portfolio allocation of 55, 30, and 15. You people would be doing it for balanced and for aggressive. For balanced, you have a different portfolio allocations. For aggressive, you have a different portfolio allocation, so your weight would be different. Everyone, once they are done with that, then they may notify in the chat box, giving you 2 minutes uninterrupted. Everyone start doing it. और जिनको ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे फिर से कुछ रिपीट करना चाहिए तो मुझे बता दीजिए, क्योंकि मैं ज्योतिष शास्त्र नहीं पढ़ा हूं, मैं अंतर्यामी नहीं हूं, मैं भगवान नहीं हूं, मुझे मालूम नहीं पड़ता कि बच्चों को समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं मालूम आ रहा। तो किसी को भी ऐसा लगे कि सर आपको ये फिर से कराना चाहिए तो बोल दीजिए बेटा, बोले ना बोर वेचाय। સમ સ્ટુડન્ટ લાઈક સર ના બોલવામાં 9 ગુણ, એવી પણ કહાવત છે। ओके, मेरे को अभी आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं करना। और ये अनइंटरप्टेड साइलेंस वाली 2 मिनट्स में कुछ विकेट लुढ़क जाएंगे, कुछ गिल्लियां निकल जाएगी, मुझे मालूम है। लेकिन क्या करूं बेटा, मेरे पास यही तो ऑप्शन है। क्या करूं, क्या करूं? Something else got clicked. क्या करूं? Can someone recall it? What is that क्या करूं? Some meme fans would be able to recall it. क्या करूं? Okay, waiting for the confirmation of students. Once you are done with all these 2 portfolios, you may just let me know that you have done it. I am sure this silence will not be perpetual in nature. It will be broken on some day, not on some day, on some minute to come. No one yet? It has taken too much of time. I think it shouldn't have taken that much of time. Okay, if you haven't done it, can you just put at least that you are doing it, so that I can come to know that whether you're doing it or not. Okay, Chitra doing it. Fine. Okay, enough of time. What about the others, whether they are doing it or they have done it? Please just let me know, everyone, through the chat box or something. Okay. Fine. We will find this, mean average return on yearly basis after some time, because today it won't be possible. You people have taken too much of time just to find this portfolio return. Anyway, my target was to complete up to the year return over here, but that's fine. We'll do it in the next one. Okay, so based on the data we'll get after doing this, exercises, mathematical and this sort of things, we would try to find the value at risk for the different type of individuals who have a different type of portfolios. So aggressive investors have invested some amount of money, conservative as well as balanced one have invested some amount of money in the different portfolios as per their return requirements and their expectations. Based on that, value at risk principles and concepts we are going to apply. So it's going to be a practical one. One more lecture would be taken to go to value at risk in this Excel. Anyway, fine. So that's it from my side for the day. I'm sharing my attendance worksheet just in a 30 seconds. Just give me a 30 seconds, please.